Yes, Marvel finally has a hit video game. I think they've maybe had some hits before, but we've always talked about how, well, Marvel for a while was, they're still doing the best in the movie space, but DC had animation and video games. But Marvel Rivals is the most streamed game in the world right now. In fact, Marvel Rivals is so popular that even I, as a non-gamer, have heard of it. I've taken notice of it. It's really dominated my Twitter feed. I mentioned I was going to make this video last week, and one of you, a big fan of Marvel Rivals, reached out to me and said that one of the reasons that the game has blown up the way it has is that it's, let's say, reminiscent of Blizzard's Overwatch, which isn't around anymore due to what is always the reason? Drama. So there's a nostalgia factor. Also, of course, it features Marvel characters. But I think there is yet another reason why the game is so popular, and that's da booty. That's right. While the MCU loves to serve up beefcake, they've been noticeably stingy on the cheesecake, a mistake that Marvel Rivals has rectified. Now, for those of you, I've discovered with my coverage over the years, some of you are not familiar with these terms. They originate, I think, from maybe the 50s and 60s, but beefcake means sexy hot men, and cheesecake means sexy hot women. I think cheesecake might have come first, and then beefcake became the male equivalent. And Marvel Rivals serves up a complete meal, beefcake and cheesecake. Because some of the fan edits that I've seen some of you do of Mr. Fantastic have been pretty shocking. Oh my, indeed. But the cheesecake, I think, has really made an impression. One of the reasons is that Marvel Rivals is a third-person shooter, meaning that instead of the camera being your POV, the character that you're playing walks in front of you while you play. Ahem. And Marvel Rivals, by the way, deserves credit for doing such a good job with their cheesecake in that it has broad appeal. It doesn't feel exploitive. This one skin for Sue Storm feels a little exploitive to me. But otherwise, it seems fun and flirty, like those Halloween costumes. So not only are guys loving it, but women in the LGBTQ community are enjoying this cheesecake as well. I think the Halloween costumes are a good comparison. Well, Kevin Feige, take note. Marvel Rivals has blown up the Fantastic Four even more than Fortnite could do. Yet if only there is some video game movie synergy. Because here's Marvel Rivals Fantastic Four in painted on tech, while Feige has decided to put his Fantastic Four in sweater sets. Sweaters can be sexy, but it is very hard to compete with painted on tech. Like really painted on. Anime style. Like, is there any tech actually there? All right, but speaking of the sudden popularity of Fantastic Four, I've been into comics for a while, and I've also studied them. I know a lot about comics, and maybe with the exception of when the Fantastic Four were first launched, I don't think I've ever seen them this popular. I mean, we've said a lot of comic book fans are like, everyone's like, here comes another version of the Fantastic Four. And a lot of us are like, nobody even buys Fantastic Four comics. I mean, for a little while, they were interesting. And when they did the stuff with Franklin, which crossed over with the X-Men, that kind of became a little interesting. But they're a tough sell. They've been historically a tough sell. So I wonder if maybe this Marvel Rivals pack release was too early. Like maybe it should have been a little closer to the movie release, or maybe it's getting everybody ready for the trailer to help it blow up. We'll see. However, the bigger point is that suddenly Marvel has a market research group going. Oh boy, which characters are blowing up on Marvel Rivals? Well, Marvel can then take those characters and fast-track movies, series, and yes, maybe even comic books to play up on that popularity. Although, how long does that popularity last? Can Marvel Rivals keep it going through the release of new skins for those characters and featuring them in new stories? I believe that just like Fortnite has battles, Marvel Rivals has like new stories and chapters. By the way, Captain America 4 is offering a mystery skin for Marvel Rivals to whoever buys a ticket for the movie at Regal. That's very specific. You have to scan your ticket. I was wondering about this, and then they did clarify it. I talked about it on a previous Captain America live stream. But you don't get the mystery skin until you scan your ticket to enter the theater to watch the movie. If you return the ticket or don't show up, doesn't count. It has to be scanned in for you to get that skin. Now, when I talked about it on the live stream, somebody was like, a Marvel Rivals fan said, what are you talking about? Everybody gets every skin. No DLC, but apparently that doesn't seem to be the case anymore. This isn't technically a DLC, but you do have to pay some money and an extra capacity to be able to get this skin. I wonder if it'll just be one skin that everybody gets. Maybe it'll be like a couple of different ones. Like if you buy a lot of tickets, do you get different skins? We'll see. But it's a really inventive way to use the game and so quickly. A third-party site, by the way, says it has been able to rank the popularity of the characters in the game by different criteria. And they promised to refresh the list periodically. And obviously this list came out before Mr. Fantastic and Sue Storm joined the game. And Johnny Storm and the Thing, by the way, the Thing, they have not yet joined the game yet, but they will be doing so soon. It's a phased release. Top 5, Jeff the Land Shark, I can't believe that, Cloak and Dagger, Luna Snow, Mantis, that's fantastic, I love that for her, and Venom. Now, you better believe Ryan Reynolds is very savvy, so I bet on the next Deadpool movie or appearance, or at least soon, you'll see Jeff the Land Shark because that comes from Deadpool. While Luna Snow, who the heck is this? She was developed for another video game and is a South Korean character. Would it be smart, maybe, with this kind of popularity? I mean, this makes me take notice. Shang-Chi too, right? Or with this level, I mean, she's just so popular. Do I put her in Secret Wars? It's very interesting. I bet you see Luna Snow in live action pretty soon. That ranking, I think, also makes it likely that it won't just be Star-Lord who is returning to the MCU, but Mantis as well. While Venom's chances of appearing in Spider-Man 4 just got even like a little better. His box office helped him, and I think this will help as well. Moon Knight and Wanda, just outside the top 5, so that's very exciting. Bottom 5, Black Panther, Namor, Wolverine, Black Widow, and Storm. That is surprising. That is really shocking. Any of you playing the game, do you have an explanation for this? I have to imagine that part of the reason must be that these characters aren't designed well enough for the game. So, they don't have enough oomph. Maybe the design just, because these characters are enormously appealing and popular. But these are global rankings. So are these characters not as popular worldwide as they are in the United States? And then also I wonder if maybe Wolverine and Black Widow maybe are overexposed. Also, Black Widow, great character, but she, that's another issue. Storm, why the hell isn't Storm doing better? But, these other characters, well, Namor too, but Storm and Namor have like really showy powers, very visually oriented powers. Whereas I think the other characters might not be as exciting for a game like this. You want someone with a little more, pizzazz, in the visual use of their powers. If you want to see the entire list, I've put a link down below. Who are your favorite characters to play in Marvel Rivals? Has the game helped you discover any characters that you weren't familiar with before? And even if you were familiar with them, has the game made you like them more? Are they now a favorite? Like, were you into Fantastic Four before this? Or as much as you maybe are now? And why do you like the characters more? What elements is making them more appealing to you through Marvel Rivals? Also, can Marvel Rivals keep this hype going? How long will it be a popular game? Will it burn bright and quick? Or can it, again, as I said, keep this going? There are rumors that they're going to keep the new characters and new storylines coming, so that should help. Do you think the MCU should start serving up more cheesecake with its beefcake? It's been very one-sided for the entirety of its run. And do you agree that being a sexy game is part of why Marvel Rivals is so successful? Finally, here's another really interesting question. So NetherRealm Studios used to serve up some of the finest cheesecake in the world. In fact, they kind of overdosed on cheesecake with Mortal Kombat 9, although many of their fans weren't complaining. But after that, at least recently, maybe it was because of that overdose, maybe it's because the Me Too movement was on the rise, but who knows why? But NetherRealm has noticeably stopped serving up cheesecake for Mortal Kombat, going more in the beefcake direction like the MCU does. And some fans have voiced frustration with that. Injustice, I don't believe, ever had cheesecake. I'm only familiar with Injustice 2. Did Injustice 1 have any cheesecake? It was an insane jump in graphics quality between the two. I thought Injustice 2, certainly some very nice female characters. They did a great job with them. but I thought they were still covered up pretty conservative for the most part. But it didn't stop the game from being insanely popular, with even casuals glued to the trailer drops. What a game. Now, NetherRealm went with 2 MKs in a row instead of alternating between Mortal Kombat and Injustice as they had done for years. And it might be still a little bit of time before we get Injustice 3, because the Mortal Kombat 2 movie is coming out in October of this year, so I don't know if NetherRealm would want to change the focus right before the Mortal Kombat movie comes out, and who knows, they might have some kind of DLC or skins to go along with the movie. In fact, you would hope they would, because that would be a great idea. You know, everybody's been saying they want Jade, you know, she's going to be in the movie, so maybe that would be a great opportunity to add her to the game. Although, fascinatingly, she's played by Tati Gabriel, who has just gotten into a big problem with some fans. You know, it's crazy, but, you know, that's the world we live in with the new Naughty Dog game. All right, so anyway, but at some point, for sure, Injustice 3 is coming, probably in the near future, if not this year, maybe the year after. Well, NetherRealm take a cue from Marvel Rivals' success that it's okay to deliver some cheesecake. And NetherRealm really knows how to deliver cheesecake. But also, interestingly, NetherRealm, I think, is very good at delivering cheesecake for the male gaze, for straight men. But can they have cheesecake that appeals to not only men, straight men, but also women and LGBTQ fans? That remains to be seen. Although Melina is a character that's very popular with women and LGBTQ fans. So they can do it. So it'll be interesting to see if maybe they start going back in that direction. Marvel Rivals, forget Injustice 3, it could also maybe influence future installments of Mortal Kombat. Do you think that it should? So yeah, Marvel Rivals is a huge hit, but Injustice, as I said, Injustice 2 was also a huge hit. And it looks like we finally might get ourselves a good matchup again between DC and Marvel, this time in the video game space. As they say, strong competition makes better content across the board. How do you feel, and also how do you feel about the movies, right? Should Warner Brothers maybe take a quick look at the Supergirl costume as they've just started filming? I'd be like, did you see how Marvel Rivals is doing? Let's take a look at this. It's too late for Fantastic Four. Also, Gotham City Sirens, for the love of God, greenlight it. What's it going to take? This is just yet more evidence that would be a good idea as long as you kept the budget low. And should Marvel finally start to serve some cheesecake along with all that beefcake they love to serve? And again, of course, what do you think of Marvel Rivals? But for me, as a non-gamer who's very much in the movie space and the business space, this is what's really interesting me about the game. How its success, what Marvel could do with that success, and how it could potentially influence the movies and the games, even over on DC, because, you know, for a while now, Hollywood has been a little bit scared of cheesecake. And so maybe Marvel Rivals is going to make them feel it's okay to maybe start at least heading a little bit back in that direction. Very excited to hear your thoughts on this. All right, share them down below, subscribe today, and of course, as always, you can check out some more videos right now.